In this video, I'm gonna be smoking not one, but 2 whole chickens. Oh, this is so good. And today, I'm gonna be smoking these chickens on my Pit Boss Austin XL at 200 degrees using pecan pellets to get the juiciest, most flavorful chicken possible. So the first thing we do is get them out of the package, and when you do that, it's gonna come with a lot of blood and juices in the package, so I just kind of like to get a couple paper towels and just kind of pat it dry a little bit, get everything dried up, and then what we're gonna be doing after that is we're gonna be getting our seasoning on. This stuff to me is just kind of a little bit gross. All that solution that comes in there, pat it up a little bit, get a little bit inside of that cavity. And after you got it all, you're good to go. So now our chicken's patted dry. I'm just gonna kind of trim this up a little bit. This neck bone is sticking out a little bit. I'm gonna trim that up and some of this excess skin around this cavity right here. Then I'm gonna come around to the back side, trim up some of this tailbone and some of this other stuff right here. Just very, very minor trimming. First thing I'm gonna do is cut out this neck bone, and it's kind of tough to get through because there's some bone in there, but if you have some good kitchen shears, you should be able to get through it. And then I'm just taking out some of this excess skin around the neck. Now let's flip it over and go down to the tailbone. I'm gonna take and kind of make a little V cut around the tailbone and then just clip it right out. And again, I'm doing the same thing here, just kind of taking out some of this excess skin, some of the stuff that I don't really want. So after you get some of the excess skin and fat out around the top and the bottom, this is what it should look like. This is the bottom and this is the top. Now that our chicken is all trimmed up, it is time to season it. And what you want to do is go ahead and just feel your chicken and see if it's a little bit moist. If it has a little bit of moisture on the outside, you could just put your seasoning directly on there. If your chicken is super dried out, your seasoning really is not going to stick to it. In that case, you'd want to maybe spray it with some spray butter or some olive oil spray or something like that that's going to help your seasoning adhere to the chicken. Now for today's flavor profile, we are going with a very simple salt and pepper. I really want the smoke to penetrate through on this chicken and give it a great flavor. I don't want to add on a lot of extra seasonings to add to the flavor profile. So the first thing we're going to do is start out with our salt. So the first thing we're going to be seasoning with today is salt. I probably ended up using about a good couple tablespoons of salt on here. I don't actually measure before I do it. I just kind of eyeball it. You just want to make sure you get a good layer of salt down. This is going to enhance the flavor of the chicken, and salt is good. Everybody likes salt. Now let's get it over onto the back side, and again, I probably used a couple tablespoons here. Just make sure to get all the edges of this piece of chicken, like the wings, the thighs. Make sure you're getting everything really good. Now we're going to come back with our pepper, and I am going to go pretty heavy on this pepper just because I really like the taste of pepper, and salt and pepper is a classic Texas style way to season meat. I'm not doing any kind of barbecue seasonings on here today, just going with salt and pepper. Now if you're a little bit afraid of pepper, you don't like that kind of spicy bite that it brings to your meat, you could totally go ahead and use less, but I'm going to be seasoning up with about this much today. You just want to remember to get the inside of that cavity. I'm just going to dump a whole bunch in there and rub it around. There's no real pretty fancy way to do this. You just got to kind of jam your fingers in there and rub it around. Now it's time to get our chickens on the smoker, and I'm going to be putting these down with the birds on their back. So now here we are back at the 2-hour mark. We're going to go ahead and check the internal temperature. And as you guys can see, this one is shooting right up to be around the 130 range. And the one on the left is looking right at about 115-ish. So now we're going to be cranking up our temperature to 300 degrees. So now it's been 15 minutes at 300 degrees, and we're getting up to about 155 in that right chicken, and about 135 in the chicken on the left. So I came back out after about another 10 to 15 minutes, and it looks like we just shot over that 165 in the breast for the chicken on the right. Both of our chickens are finally off of the smoker. I can't wait to dig into these and show you exactly how juicy they are. But before I do that, I just want to do a quick recap and explain to you what it was that I did today. I started out with 2 whole chickens. I took them out of the package, patted them dry, and then I took some of the excess skin and stuff like that off. After I did that, I seasoned them with salt and pepper. I fired up my Pit Boss Austin XL to 200 degrees using pecan pellets. I let it get up to the right temperature, then I put both of the chickens on the smoker for 2 hours at 200 degrees. After 2 hours, I went out and I cranked it up to 300 degrees and I checked the temperature in both of the chickens. After it got up to 300 degrees, I let them sit for approximately 15 minutes, then I went back out and I checked them. They both weren't ready yet, so I let them sit for another 10 minutes and I went back out and checked them again. After the second time, we were really close on one of our chickens and the other one was still a ways off. I waited about another 10 minutes, went back out and checked that chicken that was almost done, and it was. At that point, I pulled that chicken off and I let the other one come up to 165 in the breast. Then I pulled that one, and now here we are at the cutting board ready to dig into these chickens. Now it's time to carve into this chicken, the moment that we have all been waiting for. I am so excited to try this. This is looking absolutely amazing. I'm just cutting out a piece of the breast, and now I'm coming from the back and trying to get that chicken leg quarter out. And look at what we have here. This is absolutely beautiful. I took a little slice out of the breast, and I also took a little slice out of the dark meat. So the first thing I'm going to try is some of this breast. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely ridiculous. The skin is so perfect and crunchy. That salt and pepper is really all you need. You could go crazy and throw some extra seasonings and rub on there, make it spicy, make it a sweet, make it a barbecue flavor, put a glaze on it before you're done. You could do all sorts of crazy things with this, but I like the Texas style straight salt and pepper. It is so tasty. The smoke comes through so beautifully on this. And now I have to go on to take a little bite of this thigh and this drumstick. Wow. This chicken is a 10 out of 10. It's juicy, has perfect color on it. Smoke is perfect in it. That salt and pepper is just absolutely great. I don't think there's too much. I don't think there's too little. I think that this is just great. And it's super cheap. I bought a 2-pack for $10. It's like $9, $10, $11, something like that. So this is a great option when you want to do barbecue for cheap. You don't want to go spend 50, 40 bucks on a brisket. You don't want to go spend 50, 60 bucks on big plate of beef ribs or 10, 15 bucks a slab for pork ribs. This is a great alternative, has great flavor. Well, I need to let you guys go so that I could eat the rest of this. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you try this recipe and you like it, please comment down below and let me know how it goes. Also, please feel free to comment other things that you want to see me make in my videos. I will make anything. And if you did like this video today, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be putting out a new video every week. I hope you guys have an amazing, blessed day, and I will see you in the next video.